So I want to take a few moments to talk about how our courtrooms can overlap. In general sessions, the litigants, they come in, I hear their case, they get their verdict that same day. I always tell them they have 10 days to file an appeal, and what that process is, 10 days after the verdict is entered, they can go to room 106 and file an appeal, and that appeal is heard in circuit court. So can you tell us a little bit about what happens? Is that a court of appeals? Do they have to listen to the errors from the general sessions court? What is the argument if someone files an appeal to circuit court from general sessions?
Sure. So as you obviously know, after a trial in general sessions, either side, win or lose, has the right to an appeal. Someone may win, but they don't think they got enough, or someone may lose and they want an appeal. So when they appeal it to circuit court, they file a notice of appeal, and it's a fairly simple process. They don't have to list out what they think the errors were. It's called a de novo appeal, meaning it comes up brand new. Nothing that happens downstairs, as we call it, nothing that happens in general sessions court, aside from what the verdict was, if it's affirmed, nothing really matters. It comes up brand new, essentially. And those cases, you have to file a notice of a request for a jury trial when you do those appeals. Otherwise, it would proceed as a bench trial, meaning I would act as the judge and the jury, just like you typically do in general sessions.
And I have a lot of those cases, especially when it comes to eviction. Sometimes the landlord or the property owner may feel like they didn't get enough money back from the verdict, or you have the tenant that says, I don't have any place to go. I don't think I should have been evicted. The property was uninhabitable, so they disagree with the verdict that I have. And I tell them exactly what you said. You have 10 days to file your appeal. If it's a landlord-tenant action and the tenant wants to stay on the property, the law requires them to put up a year worth of rent. The bond process, they could go to the clerk's office and they will give them the information on that.
And we deal with that a lot, because what'll happen is sometimes a tenant will appeal, but they don't know the intricacies of the law. They haven't filed that required appeal bond. And so then the attorney for the landlord might file a motion to dismiss the appeal, right? Because they haven't complied with the procedural rules in the bond proceeding. And then a tenant may come before the court and try to tell me, Judge, the place had roaches, the ceiling. I said, we got to stop for a second. You may have the best case in the world, but you've got to follow the procedural steps, meaning you've got to perfect that bond. So there's oftentimes hiccups that come with the appeals, because once you get up to circuit court, there typically are more rules, more procedural guidelines that apply.
Right. So that's why it's very important that we have community resources. The majority of people that come in my courtroom are representing themselves. As you mentioned, they don't have an attorney. So I have an information station set up where I have information regarding legal aid, the West Tennessee Clinic, the Attorney for the Day program, Memphis Area Legal Services, the information, because as judges, we're no longer lawyers. We're judges, so we're supposed to be neutral. We can't give you legal advice, but we can provide you with the information for where you can go and get legal advice.
And oftentimes, some people take you up on that advice, but oftentimes they come back to my courtroom or come up to my courtroom and I'm telling them the same thing. People obviously have the right to represent themselves, and we welcome people to exercise that right, but we also try to do our duty as judges to tell them, hey, listen, you've got to follow certain rules, and that's why we often recommend people to at least try to seek out some of the free legal clinics and resources in the community.
And this is Inside General Sessions Civil Court. We would love for you to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.